where I believe the space will go, VeVe will win.
VeVe fam, today we have someone special with us. Someone who will help us understand how the digital world and digital collecting are evolving. Someone who truly understands the value of strong communities and how to build meaningful relationships. We will talk about his personal career, VeVe, the VeVe Verse, and of course, about the hot topic at the moment, the VeVe affiliate program. But first, welcome, Sanjay.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Jan, thank you very much for having me on the channel. A big fan of yours. I have a lot of the different merch that you created as well. And I was the first person to receive some of them. So thank you very much for that as well. But hi, VeVe fam, how's everybody doing?
No worries for that. I mean, there will be a little more information about the merch stuff in the future, just so everybody knows. But first of all, I would like to start this conversation off with a simple, but also not that simple question. And that would be, who is Sanjay? Who are you as a person? How would you describe yourself in a couple of sentences?
I would say the first thing that comes to mind is builder. I'm a builder. I would say connector of people, different things. And I'd like to believe a human who cares about impact. So those are sort of
Positive impact, I guess.
impact in the world, right?
Yeah.
So those are the three things that I would say define who I am. Beyond that, there's a lot of other pieces to it, but let's leave it at there. Those three things.
I think those are three perfect things. You mentioned you are a builder. Before we first connected, I took a look at your LinkedIn profile, and honestly, I was impressed. But yeah, for real, I was really impressed. So just give us a little overview about your business career, please.
Sure. So my career has been, I would say, very focused on knowledge and learning, and that's a prerequisite to building. If you have the right type of knowledge, the right type of skills. So I got an undergraduate in chemical engineering. It was important for me to have a technical degree, to have strategic, systemic thinking in STEM. And I also then wanted to get a business degree. So I have an MBA from Michigan State. And so the two together set me up for the right type of career. I started my career with pharmaceutical marketing, mostly B2B type stuff in the Latin America.
I'm in the pharmaceutical market as well. So
Oh, is that right? That's amazing. So we should connect about that sometime. A long time back. But I did that. I used to travel to Latin America from India quite a bit. And after that, after my MBA, I've worked in consulting for a few years. I've worked in banking, mostly finance, if you will, for HSBC for almost a decade, analytical roles, marketing roles, re-engineering and business transformation type roles, cross-sell type roles, various levels of leadership. And then I went to Visa after that. I became the head of analytics in North America for Visa and had about 165 people, part of my broader team, doing analytics for all the banks, the merchants, all airlines, hotels, this, that, and the other. Really enjoyed that role tremendously. And then after that, I went on to become a general manager at Amazon. I launched the Amazon Prime card, got the business card started while I was there as well. And that was sort of my second MBA, if you will. Really applied a lot of machine learning, AI, different types of cloud technologies. And we're talking like 2015, 2016. So I've been
really
in that space, yeah, quite some time back. And then I got two very incredible breaks. I ended up becoming president of a publicly traded company. So ran that business. My business unit was about $150 million business, which I grew in double digits, both top and bottom line, tripled the stock price. It was a great exit for me. Which
not that bad. I wanted to say that.
Not terrible, man. You know, sometimes in life, hard work meets luck, right? And very fortunate. So that enabled a lot of the giving that my wife and I have done together. We've done some educational giving. We've done some related to homelessness and other stuff. But yeah, it was just the start of all of that for us. And then I ran another company as CEO. And then for the last about 4.5 years, I've worked with private equity. So I'm an advisor to a large private equity company in the data and information services sector. So we look at various deals. I also have a longer term arrangement with them to be an operating partner for one of their businesses. So when the right type of business comes along, I'll switch from a advisor type role into a operator and
Yeah.
CEO, COO, or something like that, run some business. Beyond that, I've also invested some of my money in early stage companies. I'm a big student of tech, and so I've made about 20-ish investments in deep tech as an LP. For the most part, those are harder investments to kind of get the right kind of investments.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of deep tech type investments, and then excuse me, more personally, I've done some tech investments as well. So I've been making investments in AI and ML type companies for almost 5-6 years now, where I've just made investments. And so that's another part of it. I donate a lot of my time as well. So I'm a part of Harvard's Innovation Labs. I'm a mentor there. So about 2,000 students at Harvard have various plans to have startups of different types. They 80 of them get selected to be part of what's called as Harvard Innovation Labs. So across the 13 Harvard schools, they pick 80 startups, and those 80 get paired up with mentors. So I'm a mentor to 2 out of those 80. I've
Yeah.
been doing that for about 3 years. I
Yeah.
also do something similar with Michigan State's Burgess Institute. So I've been around early stage companies and mentoring young founders for quite a while. And then I also personally am an advisor to other early stage companies. These are not student run ones. So typically I'm paid about a half of 1% of the company. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm an advisor to such companies. And I have 4 advisory relationships like that right now. And I'm talking to 2 more. One's an AI enabled ed tech, and one's an AI enabled tax business. Um, it's just not announced as yet. Probably can't talk about it, but I will
No
end up in
worries.
2 more advisory relationships of that nature pretty soon. And both are um, previous entrepreneurs with successful exits, great ideas, good businesses and stuff too. But yeah, then other than that, I'm here. All the other time I have, I'm on VeVe and in the Web3 space, and metaverses, on
Yeah.
spatial, and VeVe Verse, in crypto. I'm not as much into meme coins and stuff. I have experimented and played a little bit with them,
Yeah.
but that's not my thing.
I mean, there must be some value there in the project, right? Not
Yeah,
not to say that meme coins can't have value, but
not for me. I'm
yeah,
sure it's
yeah,
great and people can make their
yeah.
money and stuff, but it's not for me. I like value based stuff. I'm into more RWA type stuff, avalanche kind of
Hmm.
projects, real world asset type stuff. Obviously, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and those things as well. OMI, of course, is a passion, and big believer in OMI.
Yeah, me
Also,
too.
very big believer in VeVe. Well, let me pause there. I mean, that was sort of maybe a longer answer than perhaps you're looking
No,
for,
it,
but
it
that's
was it
background.
was it was an absolutely perfect answer. Yeah, that was exactly the answer why I was like first. Okay, that's impressive when I saw the resume. Honestly, really impressive. But good for you, man. Really good for you. And I guess you worked hard for it. So honestly, great for you.
Thank you.
But you said you had like 150-ish people under your leadership at the first bigger company.
Most of them were in that range. So Visa had
Yeah.
a 165-person team. Amazon, I had a 40-person team that I grew to almost 200 in a span of 2 years. Then the tax business that I ran as president, I had, including all staff, probably about 250-ish.
Mhm.
And if you look at all the indirect staff that we had supporting the business, probably closer to about 500. And then the other business I ran as CEO was also in the 200 direct staff, and probably another 200, 250 indirect, people that work for your company kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people under your leadership. So that brings me to the next question. I mean, if you're this successful in business, there are a lot of tough decisions or even big mistakes you make. That's inevitable, I would say. So I would like to know what was maybe the toughest decision of your career or the biggest mistakes, or maybe even both. and what did you learn from it?
Yeah, a big decision in my career was leaving Amazon. So I was very successful at Amazon. Financially, I built out a good kind of a position there as well with equity and everything else. And with successful product launches, you're very well rewarded. There's every incentive to stick around and stay and stuff like that. But I ended up getting an offer from a publicly traded company that said, "Look, we'd like you to be a president of our company." I was probably 5 levels below Jeff at Amazon.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, it's just perspective, and it's always perspective, right? And not that it matters by itself, but you want to grow in various levels of leadership position. So here I was a named executive. I would be a named executive in this company. So the first time I said no, I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
They came back to me 3 4 months later and said, "Look, we really think you should consider this role." And they offered a lot of money. They offered me a lot of money. They offered me 3 times what I was making at Amazon. They literally matched every dollar that I had vested and invested in equity. And they said, "Look, we'll offer you 3 4 times more, potential to go up to 4 times more as well." And I was well paid at Amazon. And I'm not the guy who moves for money, but that was just like a lot of money.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And going to a smaller company of that type, there's also a risk. And that company had struggled a lot
Mm-hmm.
before I got there. So it was one of those things where I wasn't sure whether I would do it or not. And then finally I decided, yeah, I'm going to go do it because I like challenges. This is a turnaround that I like. It's a digital transformation. It's at a different level of leadership. Let me learn. The money helped too. But anyway, so I went and did that. And over 2 years, I grew that business in the mid-teens and both top and bottom line. And it was publicly traded, so we beat the expectations of the street, both on top and bottom line. Deployed cloud, deployed AI and ML, deployed. They were good at digital marketing, but brought more expertise in digital marketing. Operations was very slow, brought in the whole digital component, automation into the operational side as well. A lot of leadership changes as well. So made, hired a lot of very good talent from around the world into that business. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that transformation and stuff. And then it was time to move on to the next level of leadership. But that was perhaps the biggest risk I took. The biggest mistake, I would say, you know, this one's a very interesting one. And I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I've learned throughout my life.
Yeah, I mean, mistakes are part of
Actually,
life,
part
right?
of growing up, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So uh, so my team was responsible for launching an offer on Amazon Prime Day. So we had this offer where if you buy $150 worth of stuff, you get a $30 gift card
Mm-hmm.
in your wallet. And it was a limited quantity offer, and we had significantly more quantity of it than the previous year, where it was slightly different offer. It was $100, $20 off 100 or something like that. It might have been 25 off 100 the previous year, and we had like a smaller quantity of that. But this year we did more, and it was disclosed as well. There was a star out there and said limited quantity or whatever. And turns out on Prime Day, people shopped throughout the day. So people saw this offer and they bought some things in the morning. They put some things in the basket in the morning and they kept waiting to add more stuff to hit the 150. And when they went, basically the entire quantity of the offer basically finished by 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Okay.
It was in very high demand. It was gone.
Yeah.
So then there were a lot of people who put things in their cart in the afternoon and tried to check out, and they're like, they didn't get the $30 off. They're
Yeah.
like
Okay.
really, really upset.
Yeah, I
So,
got it.
so they wrote to Jeff Bezos. So you can literally write, at the time you could write Jeff at Amazon.com and
Mm-hmm.
it'll go to Jeff Bezos, right? And he reads some of them and some get escalated to him or whatever. And he has like two kind of responses to such things. He'll forward it to the head of the group and he'll either put question mark, that's it, forward it to the question mark, or
Okay.
WTF question mark, okay?
And you
And
got
then
a double WTF
and
question
then
mark?
there's a whole process on how you're supposed to respond to Jeff. Now you expect him to respond like within like the day or day and a half with your immediate what did you do kind of thing. And then 2 3 weeks later you have to close the loop with him saying you did a full investigation, all the processes you fixed, everything. Anyway, So there were, I think, about more than 7 or 8 freaking question mark and WTF question mark emails stemming out of that. Because, Amazon Prime is huge and there's so many
Yeah.
customers and it's Prime Day. And I'm the exec who was responsible for the card business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the Amazon approach to this, the customer centricity approach is it does not matter that you disclosed on the main thing it was limited quantity and you had a star and there was a
Yeah.
description of it in the T's and C's. They don't care. They're just like, and so my response to that was I wrote back to Jeff saying, Dear Jeff, today we disappointed so many tens of thousands of Amazon Prime customers who tried to do this, this, and this. The root cause of this was ABC. Over the next 48 hours, we will make a list of everyone that attempted to use this offer.
Yeah.
Even if they saw the offer but did not use it on the back end, we will presume that they intended to but could not. And we will put $30 in gift card in all those wallets, every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've worked with the partner. There's another bank, and we worked with the partner and made the full list and literally deposit that. I think it cost us like 6 million or something like that. I mean, my P&L used to produce more than $1 billion in profit.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose in the grand scheme of things, but it was not even the consideration at the time. So did that, and then we did a full kind of like the what do we do, and the recommendation that we came up was that anytime we do this type of an offer again, below the offer, we would have a counter that goes
Yeah.
all the way down to zero. So when it finishes, people know it's gone to zero. And then we would also more prominently disclose, like you have to use it before it finishes. You can't put it in the cart or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That was a, epic mistake at a very large level. You can take two approaches. You can say, hey, I disclosed it, I'm not to blame, or my team's not to blame. You can assign blame wherever. You can do all that stuff. But the very Amazonian customer centric approach to it is I own it. At the end of the day, it's my responsibility to make sure that the customer understands the offer. And I'm going to do right by the customer in the short term and the long term. And here's what I'm going to do. But that teaches you a lot of leadership, and you own it, right? You literally own it. And I think for me that was a learning experience. And by the way, at Amazon, you're not punished for any of the stuff as long as you're learning from every one of these, right? You're expected to make mistakes if you are taking risk
Yeah.
to build
Exactly.
things, right? Things are
Yeah.
going to break.
Yeah.
Things are going. But yeah, I mean that was sort of one of the biggest mistakes in my career. Like, thankfully, it didn't hurt me. It actually helped me quite a bit.
Great to hear that, and a great learning, I would say. And mistakes are part of life, and I think the most important part about mistakes is doing them, and then
Yeah.
learning, and don't do the same mistake again, right?
Yeah, the Amazonian approach to it is for every task, there are inputs and there's outputs. Outputs is what happened, right? Now, if you got the inputs right and the output right, you're a winner. You get rewarded very handsomely, right? If you got the inputs right, but you got the output wrong for whatever reason, different factors happen, right? You still want to trust the same person who got the inputs right for the next task because they've already learned that valuable lesson. And so that shaped a lot of my thinking in organizations on growth, risk appetite, risk taking, mistakes. What type of mistakes would you back the people that made them, and which ones would you not? And to me, that was a very valuable leadership lesson. And you got to learn that early in life if you want to go on to becoming a big leader and run big teams and get good things done.
I got that. You are the one networker who connects everybody and is there for everyone, which is great, by the way. So my question would be, what is like the most important aspect on building and maintaining business relationships and personal relationships? And what do people do wrong oftentimes when they network?
I would say there's a lot of my skills in networking came more from my background, the way I grew up. My dad was in the army. We moved every year.
Yeah,
I've
okay.
studied in, I think, 9 schools in 12 years, might be 10 schools in 12 years. So I kept moving to different towns, different schools. Every time you go to a new place, you make new friends. You still have your old friends. And so that sort of connectivity, that networking, the ease in which you connect with people, the ease in which you maintain relationships has been in sort of my DNA for a long time here. And in the business world, I would say, to answer your question very specifically, it comes down to three things: trust, respect, and proactive. To be a good connector, you have to create trust, and you have to trust the other person both ways,
Yeah.
right? Like you have to trust the person, and you have to build and foster trust, and that's very important. The second thing is respect. Doesn't matter whether you're talking to a child, whether you're talking to an adult, whether you're talking to someone who's 10 levels above you in an organization, or somebody who's a senior official, or it doesn't matter any of that stuff. The respect that you give an individual is very important. And as you get more senior in your career, as you kind of get older in your life, it's easy sometimes to overlook that. I'm older than this person. I know more than this person. That's a kid. That's just a kid. Oh, that's just an analyst. This guy's just a server. This guy's the. But to have that genuine level of respect, you go to a restaurant, there's someone who's waiting on you, right? You don't want them standing there and waiting while you're just looking around, right? If you have a question to ask them, that's fine. So if you're talking to someone who looks up to you with reverence and is standing, you'd ask them to sit down. When you talk to somebody, you wouldn't tell them what to do. A lot of times you'd ask them how they feel about it. Is this what you're thinking? So that type of respect. So first is trust, second is respect. And so that's important as well. And then to be proactive, you meet a lot of high quality people, mediocre and type of people, and low quality people throughout your life and your work career. And while you may not externally display who you think it doesn't meet the highest bar of quality that you see, it's a skill set to reach out to the jewels that you meet and stay in touch. And it's one thing where even when I was, 25 years ago when I was working, there were a few people that I thought were very, very special. And I made it a point to stay in touch. Like one of my friends is the head of marketing for Zillow. He was a senior analyst. I was a manager, different teams. We used to watch cricket together, like till 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, good friend. I made a point to stay in touch with Ravi. Ravi and I have been friends for a very long time. He's now the CM of Zillow. It doesn't even matter because our friendship is based on a lot of trust, respect, and being proactive about it. So, either I'll write to him, he'll write to me every once in a while. We chat, even if he's being considered for like a CFO role somewhere else or CEO role somewhere, or somebody's reached out to him, he'll call me and he say, hey, what do you think? And we just chat about other stuff too. And just one example. So I've cherished good friends, and I've made it a point to stay in touch with good friends and good quality people. Life is too short. Life is too short to waste with negativity. I personally believe
Definitely.
it's just not worth it. So if you have people where it's a soured relationship, or there's just some angry behavior, animosity, jealousy, stupidity, I just walk away from it, man. Like I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a little bit about it.
That. Yeah. But it's not that easy to stay in touch. I mean, it's quite hard. But yeah, a lot of times it is worth it, right? Okay, that was a great look into your personal business career, but let's move on with a topic probably most of the watchers are here for. So let us talk about VeVe and the digital collectibles market. I know you've became aware of VeVe because of the Marvel Comics #1 drop on it, right?
Yes.
Yes. So you definitely own a lot. How many do you have?
More than 1,000 now.
Yeah, oh, more than 1,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
good.
think I have about 500 plus commons, 300 plus uncommons, or close to 300 uncommons, 150 ultra rares. Sorry, rares. About 80, 90 ultra rares, and 7 secret rares now. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's getting up there.
That's a nice stack, I would say. But what fascinates you about VeVe and the future potential, maybe?
Yeah, it's no different than how I look at businesses. So the first thing that's important to me is the quality of the founder. Very important. Very, very important. And so I like David's vision. And I liked it when I heard about it, the whole digital collecting thing. I didn't know David
Yeah.
at the time when I came into VeVe, right?
Yeah.
All digital collecting and how they're thinking about the company. Like I've been at the forefront of digital for a long time now, right? Like through my career at Visa, where it was digital payments, start getting into Amazon and various digital commerce and all those things. Right? I've been around for a long time. I've seen that even with mobile and stuff like that, right? How mobile became ubiquitous. When I
Mhm.
was born, there was not much mobile. Even when I was growing up, there was not much mobile. But over a decade, mobile became ubiquitous, right? Mobile commerce became ubiquitous. So I've seen that. I've seen digitization of various verticals and sectors. And to me, collecting was one which felt like scarcity is very critical to collectability, which David understands and has really pioneered, as along with just branded digital collectibles, his ability to network with people, his ability to. So there's a lot of things to like. I mean, I suppose I see a lot of similarities with me and David as well, just in terms of philosophy. The think big, the vision, the
Mhm.
connecting and the networking, the deal making. So those are all things that I find very appealing about David and VeVe specifically. And should David go and do another business, I probably would follow David into that business either as a customer or as a advisor or an employee or whatever it is. Like someone like a David is one reason why I sort of got attracted into VeVe. I got to know Dan. Dan's a little, he's not as public facing, and it took a while for me to even get to know Dan a little better.
Mhm.
But Dan's a very interesting personality as well, and so he's a co-founder, very important, right? So, and in the beginning, I just didn't understand who Dan was, and I probably didn't like Dan as much as well, more based on shit wasn't getting done, right?
Mhm.
But then I got to understand who Dan was, his approach to it, the challenges that we faced, and I had a real appreciation for why Dan is such a special guy and why Dan's role in the history of VeVe is very important. And it's not a story that's well known. It's not a story that's well articulated. It's not something that I will cover in depth here, but I will share that I like Dan's personality. He's not who I am. He's different. He's not a David,
Yeah.
but he's someone who is getting stuff done, right? Behind the scenes. And he's overcoming obstacles. And there's a lot, if you think about NFTs and getting stuff done with a small, tiny budget and working on the world stage. Like you have on the one hand, you have Disney and these guys demanding stuff. On the other hand, like a freaking you're in New Zealand with like 5 people and a dog kind of a
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you got to live up to this expectation. And so how do you kind of go about it? And honestly, for a while, I thought, Dan might struggle in that role. But I would tell you, maybe about 2.5 years ago, after I started getting to know Dan a little better, seeing what was going on in the back end, the talent, the changes that they made, he made lemonade with lemons early on, and then he made, maybe orange juice with oranges,
Yeah.
and then from all of that, he went on to having like a good team with good people and getting shit done, right? and and you have to give someone credit for going through that journey. But anyway, that's why I like VV
Yeah.
because
To
of David.
jump in there real quick, it is also my feeling that David gets like all the love or most of the love from the community, and Dan, as an absolutely important role in all of this, he gets so little credit for what he's doing. Now with the VeVe Verse, I guess there are a lot of happy faces, so now he gets a little credit, but beforehand it was just all the love to
And VV Verse is really all Dan's vision and planning and stuff like that. Right? And it took a long time to get it right and launch it at the right time. Right? He's launching it just at the correct time as well, with the right kind of feature functionality. It's very well
yeah.
done. I mean, it's very, very well done. And he's a very interesting personality as well. But you're right, David gets all the love. Like
Yeah,
the first
definitely.
conference I went to, David had like a lot of gifts from different people. Dan didn't have that many.
Yeah.
But the second
Sometimes
time
I
around it
felt a
changed.
little sorry about that for him
No, but second
because,
time around it changed. Now the guys have,
yeah,
they see both David and Dan, in the same way. And Dan's got a lot of gifts and stuff too.
perfect. That's the way it should be. I mean, he is executing as well. So VeVe community, show Dan some love.
Yeah,
Well,
can I make one more point though? I think the big decision in every startup is about leadership change. And to bring in a Ben is a big decision because
I wanted to ask
VB
about that.
is David's baby and Dan's baby. So for them to realize, look, we're going to grow it, at a certain pace up to a certain point, and then we need to bring some help in while we focus on what we love, right? So Dan's doing what he loves, which is building, and David's doing what he loves, which is IPs and all that stuff. Both are still very actively involved in the rest of it, I'm sure. But to bring in Ben and that was a great hire, by the way. Ben's been impressive, and he's getting shit done on time
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that you give Vivi credit for that. So I'm a bigger believer now. I believe it's in the right hands. And now they got the best of both worlds. They got professional management that can scale up, and also the guys, the original founders, whose vision and passion and skills are still contributing to the business.
Yeah. So, if I'm understanding you correctly, you're in the camp that David, Dan, and Ben will truly make VeVe the place where the world collects. Am I right here?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, it already is the place where the world collects. I mean, if you think about the percentage of people that are into digital, and the amount that are on VV and the type of collecting that goes on VV, it's still a small fraction of where I believe the space will go. VV will win. I mean, VV's weathered like two down cycles. There was like a 2022-ish down cycle. Then there was like a little pickup, and then there was another, sort of extended down cycle. And now, the crypto cycle's improving. There's a little more favorability towards digital collecting. Digitals are becoming bigger. There's like there's some kind of a lift that's coming, but it's still not that ubiquity. Forget ubiquity for a minute. It's not even the penetration or anything as yet in terms of growth. And that to me is something that is, I believe, will happen. And these are the right guys, and they will actually lead it. I don't think anybody's going to catch up to them. It doesn't seem like it at this point. Anybody's going to beat them. Adam.
Okay, so you don't really see any competition in the digital
There
collectible?
is. I mean,
Okay.
there is. There will be others will come up as well. I don't think Candy and all these guys are any competitors. I don't think Cryptoys is a competitor. My sense is that once digital collecting becomes bigger, you might have other companies that are in that ecosystem of gaming and stuff that like Animoca brands and these guys, never know. One of them might suddenly say, hey, we'll do it, or Funko or whatever would suddenly say, hey, we'd buy something and we'd plow in 200 million or $100 million into this business to make it compete with VV. So, but VV's also got a head start, right? They've already got the premium stuff. Like they've got golden moments. They've got all the Lamborghini cars, lots of them, the old stuff. First appearance of pretty much all of these things is on VV. My sense is by the time anybody even comes onto the stage, and not just that, they've got the artists too. So look at Ron English, Jermaine Rogers, Mumba, Jason Naylor, Alison Bamcat, Camille Rose Garcia, so many of them, right? There's just so many artists in the VV ecosystem, and they've got all their premiere stuff, Tristan Eaton, Doki Doki, Simone. They've got all this cool stuff, the partnerships and things like that. And they've got YG, they've got Blackpink. Sure, it's not music or whatever, but look, they've got all these partnerships. They're going to get all the good stuff there. And over time, it's my belief that as other companies don't make it or maybe don't have the same reach, Vivi will kind of pick up
Yeah.
all those customers and all those IPs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of companies fail in the last
Yeah.
2 to 2.5 years, and VeVe is still selling out a lot of their drops, right? Not most
Yeah,
of
and
them,
one,
but
one, one opportunity I see for VB is, you take a failed project, right? If there's a failed project, even let's say like, one of these regenerative type projects or whatever, a regenerative project is just like one of one artwork, right? It sits on the Ethereum blockchain or whatever. So if they were to take a project that has good customers, but the project failed and bring it into convert, that NFT, move it on to whether it's wrapped. There's so much shit that happens, man. You can wrap it and move it onto a different
mm,
chain, right? So wrap that NFT, move it onto your chain, and bring those customers or give them an opportunity to come onto your platform where their product can manifest in your environment. So a kid called Beast is a successful, project, I believe. But just for example, right? And I hope it never happens or whatever. Let's say something happens with Kid Called Beast or whatever. And even if nothing happens to them, basically go and say, look, we'd love to bring the Kid Called Beast onto VeVe, right? And we're happy to wrap this NFT and move it on to this chain that we're on. And you know what? You'd have a VeVe account and then you can play. And this could also be, in a Maker's Place failed. There's some of these other kind of marketplaces that have failed, and artists had art on those marketplaces. So it doesn't have to be like, Beast or whatever these things. You can take prior art from artists on marketplaces that just sit openly in Ethereum on OpenSea, and there's not much action, there's nobody behind it, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And now
And you
I
can
get
pull
that.
them into the VV ecosystem,
Well,
right?
I mean, I get the whole ownership part, and this is not the same as that, and whatever. But there may be a path to bringing those in a manner in which they do have the keys to put in a different wallet. It's just that we be supporting our ecosystem. Anyway, just some ideas and thoughts on that.
Yeah. Okay. So I would like to move on to give Dan even more credit because the VeVe Verse is finally out. Like,
Yes.
is it out for like 3 weeks, I guess,
Yeah.
roughly?
Yeah.
And I have to say, I am impressed. I'm honestly impressed, even though it has some challenges here and there. But I mean, it's VeVe Verse 1.
Yes.
So I'm really impressed and I love building in there. So my question would be, how do you see like the current state of the VeVeverse and what kind of opportunities do you think will emerge over the next couple of weeks, months, or even years?
Great question. I covered maybe just a small part of it in the last couple of minutes of the Randy show yesterday. But here's specifically VeVeVerse makes the whole VeVe experience more immersive. We were kids who had toys, but we couldn't play with our toys with other people. It was in our walls, and we would AR them into our environment, and we would take pictures and videos and share them. So we played with them ourselves, and we shared them on social media. And that was the extent to it. VeVeVerse is now a playground where each kid gets to bring his toys, and you get to play with other people and interact with other people with your toys and their toys, right? Both. To me, when you think of that in the context of collectibles, comics, stamps, cars, music, jukebox, all of these different kinds of digital collectible categories, it's it's created this new world. It's my belief, yeah, it's my belief that the future of social media is what Mark Zuckerberg has correct. What today people are engaging on their phones, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or WhatsApp or
Yeah, smart
any
glass.
of these,
I can see
it's
that.
all two dimensional. It's reels. It's you and me, interacting in that manner. However, the future of social media would be immersive, where my avatar is in a space with your avatar, sitting next to each other, talking, having a conversation,
Yeah.
and in real time, or even if it's not, it's that type of a experience where what I've said in my metaverse, you come into my world and you see me, my avatar, singing, dancing, saying whatever, even while I'm not there, right? And so the immersiveness of social media is real. I believe that it's slowed because of hardware challenges, because of social acceptability, with costs of those. It's very bulky. Those headsets are very
Yeah.
bulky. But if you have glasses and you can see it in the glasses, or if you have glasses and between your phone and your glasses, you're able to create that immersiveness in a cheaper, easier, less bulky manner. It's my belief that that will be so. I think Meta will be the biggest winner in that space. That's my perspective, personal perspective, right? And I believe that companies like VeVe are well positioned to be playgrounds that have a lot of toys, And I think I think personally that beyond just collecting, right? If you look at your phone today, it's got all these apps and stuff like that. It's my belief that in the future, you would literally turning on your phone environment would be your avatar on your phone walking in a room, either in a two-dimensional way or with
Okay.
glasses. And when you see a Bank of America app, it's actually a building. And
Yeah.
you're actually walking into the digital building and you're engaging with an AI human
Yeah.
and you're doing whatever your business is.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're able to switch from avatar to your actual face to cameras and stuff to do KYC and whatever,
Yeah.
verification and stuff. So to me, that entire mobile experience, I believe, is going to get transformed into an immersive one across the board.
Yeah.
And so if you take the VV part of it, the collecting part of it, you know, that part for me is a good fit with that. Number one. Number two, VV has been less of a social place by itself. So if you think about VV now, there was not much chat within the app. There was not much of a community within the app. Most of it sat on other platforms, on X or in Clubhouse or on YouTube and stuff like that. But VeVe by itself is a social place now where people can engage
But we
and you
need
can
more
engage.
social tools. We need definitely more
And
social tools.
multimodal. You have
Yeah.
voice, you have chat, you have in-person avatar, so many things, right? And AI is not currently enabled, but I believe that you can have AI in there doing a lot of stuff too. But to me, the whole social aspect of like, why would you want to be in an Omili space on X if Omili has a space in VeVeVerse that's easy to get into and engage and interact? And you can choose to just do it by voice without the immersiveness too, right? But why not? So I believe that the mobile version of VeVeVerse is going to be the next big advancement there. But VeVeVerse is a massive fit with where I believe the future is going. Number one. Number two, I think the people that are in VeVeVerse today, you are sitting on literally, like this is like Christopher Columbus. You are Christopher Columbus, and you've got all this land. You may have landed in the wrong place. Maybe you're in
Yeah.
South America. You've not reached Americas yet, but in South America, you can go and take any land you want. Go find a land by there, go find whatever. I mean, you can be the person that builds the most beautiful VVverse pads and sells them. You could be the talk show host for a specific category and engage people. You could be an auctioneer and do that. You could be a dog racer, horse racer, car racer, and hold competitions. You could hold music events, and you can do so many things. So
Endless
many things.
opportunities, right?
Endless opportunities. I mean, literally any business that you think in the real world, if you have a fit with it intellectually, you should start it in the VVverse in a small capacity and just wait for people to come in. And if you're a first mover or second mover or whatever, the early mover in it, the probability of your success is very high. And you can monetize it. And you can do it with the IPs. None of the IPs are in there. No IPs in there. I don't have a link to any IP. I know a lot of them. I know Ron as well. Ron's still building. But you could be the person who's building places for the artists, which the artists license from you, buy from you, hire you to do. I mean, there's just endless option viewers. Let me stop there, man. I'm so excited about VVverse. There's so many things you can do in there.
Yeah. You already said that this is the future, in your opinion.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of interviews by Mark Zuckerberg, and I guess he stated in the early days, like
Yeah.
the wearables and the smart glasses phones will not play that big of a role. Then is that the opinion you kind of have, or what is your time?
I think it's wearables, right? So the whole concept of a phone being the sole thing has changed anyway, right? People have an Apple Watch now. People have other handheld devices that are not phones, right? And people have all kinds of other types of, glasses, headsets, and stuff. So my belief is that that's already happened. And like the Ray-Ban Metas are glasses, right? That
Yeah.
do a lot of stuff. So I don't know exactly what it'll be, but it'll be some kind of a wearable that creates an experiment, experience. Sorry, either it's on your face, on your in your hands, virtually somewhere in between, or some place where it is created, right? I don't know how that evolves, but a good guy to chat with would be Dr. Prophet. He's very close to it. I have a lot of admiration,
I mean,
respect
I
for
would
him.
love to chat with him, but
Yeah, you can reach out to him. He's busy now with Stacker, right? But maybe later in
yeah,
the year, maybe
yeah,
when we go to Portugal or something like that, you can connect with him as well. But he is one of the guys that I really follow because he researches and has a pulse of all these technologies related to Web3, metaverses, headset experiences, gaming, all this stuff. He's this whole immersiveness thing. He's all over it, man. And his vision of what that world will look like shapes a lot of my thinking
uh-huh.
beyond my own independent thinking. And I find him very inspiring to connect with and to hear and listen and stuff like that. And his vision is something similar to that, I would say. And yeah, I'm very excited, man. I'm very excited about that space. Very excited, and,
Me
and and
too.
that's something that I would really, you know, beyond what I do with private equity and the types of companies I run, that's a hobby, a passion that in my later years I would love to dive deeper into and actually
Yeah,
work in that space. Part time,
yeah.
full time, advisory, whatever. Like so exciting, so exciting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, me too. I mean, I think there will be really exciting things over the next couple of years and decades, definitely. But let's stay at a shorter time horizon. I would like to know, so physical collectibles have a cycle. Stocks, bonds, etc. have a cycle. So digital collectibles and crypto also have a cycle, but like bigger swing in the cycle, right?
Yes.
Because it's so niche. So my question would be, how do you see VeVe evolving over the, let's say, next 12 months, especially in like the potential of a bull run? Where do you see VeVe going?
Tough question. I don't work for VV. I'm not on the inner circle of VV,
Now,
so I
I
don't know
mean,
all their
let me
plans.
let me let me frame the question then a little bit different.
Yeah,
So, how would like the VeVe community, the VeVe brand
yeah,
involve in your opinion?
yeah. So it's my belief that under Ben's leadership and with David driving IP, they're going to continue to plow money into this business at a steady pace. They're not gonna do stupid stuff, but they're gonna continue to plow money into it. They're going to grow phygital. They're going to do more and more art. They're going to do more and more IP. They're going to do more comics. Comics is a key vertical. They're going to do things that are tied to the metaverse and spaces and stuff like that. And it's my belief that with the affiliate program, it might take a little while for the right affiliates to get involved, the big affiliates to get involved and to drive growth and stuff. But it's my belief that VV will write that, you know, there's two things. Maybe that's a better way to explain it. There are two things. One is how much money you spend, and then the other thing is how many drops and the types of things you do on it, right? Infrastructure wise, it's my belief that in the down cycle, VV will spend a lot of money in building. Because if you spend the money on marketing in a down cycle, you don't get the same return. For every $1,000 you spend in a down cycle, you might get 5 customers. In an up cycle, with $1,000, you get 10 customers. So why would you want to waste that $1,000 on getting 5? Instead, you would put the 1,000 into the infrastructure, building out all these capabilities like VeVe Verse, like Fidgetals, like Evolvables, like whatever, right? All these things. And then you'd ride the up cycle by now switching that balance where you put more money into marketing. From what I'm seeing, VeVe is making that switch. They've gone from putting a lot of money into building VeVe Comics, VeVe Verse, VeVe's new web platform, pushed a lot of money into infrastructure, building the right teams, building out all these capabilities, the security, this, that, and the other. Now they're switching the cycle to time with the rise of crypto, improvement in regulations. So now they're focused on growth. They're doing this affiliate program. They're going to bring in bigger affiliates, more marketing, more with the IPs and stuff. They will ride that wave. I mean, Vivi will climb it. Don't don't let the last few years of VeVe's investment in infrastructure fool you, and low investment in marketing fool you, that they're not going to ride that wave. They are going to ride the growth wave. And it's my belief that if needed, they will raise the money that is needed to overinvest in growth beyond the money they have at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have the courage to do that as well. And they have the reputation to go raise that type of money and go do that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So exciting times ahead, probably, right?
It's very exciting times ahead. I used the bottom to pick up all the grails. I got my Donny finally about
Good for
70
you.
months back. I got my Miles Morales secret rare. I didn't have that. I got it. I wanted to load up on a few more MC1 secret rares. I wanted to load up on a lot of commons below 20 bucks, a lot of uncommons in the $20 to $30 range. I wanted to pick up rares in the $40 to $60 range. Lots of them, lots and lots.
Yeah.
And then ultra rares, anything below 100 bucks for me was just like, oh shit, this is a gift. Like this is God enabling me to pick up more. No, really. So I've literally stacked up on grails. I like to play the new stuff. I like getting the new stuff. But there's a time when you load up on grails. And also Omi. I had only 10 million Omi. I just didn't want to put money into Omi till I felt it was low and there was an upside. Now I see both. So I've taken my Omi thing up to almost 60 million, I think, now. And I probably will add strategically at various times.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds great. That sounds great. In terms of Grail collectibles, I mean, the gold and silver logo is one of these Grail collectibles. And you gave the gold and silver logos some extra utility besides the utility that the team already gave it. Are there any further plans on your side to like build out even more utility for the logo?
Yes. Now, I don't have a revenue stream, right? So I'm just a community member. So I have to be, and I basically in the early years, I plowed in some of my own money as well into this whole thing. So I'm a big believer in A, the community, and B, the VeVe Gold and Silver logo as being that sort of common point of identifying people in the community that you would kind of, and there's different communities and stuff, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But as I look at 2025, this will be the 5-year anniversary for VeVe. The first drop, in October, whatever, 13th or 14th or whatever would have been the top drop in 2020. So 2025 is 5 years. So it's very special for David and Dan and the VeVe team. Even if they came later, it's a very, very special, emotional kind of a thing for them. It's also very, very special, emotional for a lot of us. I wasn't here then, but I came shortly after. And so 2025 VeVe Gold and Silver logo New York is going to be a very special, emotional kind of an event. It's going to be a celebration of people that came into VeVe back on the first day or in the first month and bought things and kept it. Right? And even the guys who sold it, but then they stuck around in VeVe, and they got back in or whatever, they might have bought and sold or whatever, as long as they have it now. To me, that would be another kind of very key part of a community that we would celebrate, just as me, it's within the VeVe Gold and Silver logo kind of thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I think VeVe would also kind of mirror something like that. That's my guess. I don't know for sure, and I will, even if I knew, I wouldn't talk about it, right? This is not appropriate.
Yeah.
But that would be a very, very special kind of thing. And if you have the VeVe Gold and Silver logo, David and team have basically said this card has our name on it. We gave it selectively to a few people. Now, it may have bought and sold, a few people might have got it. But to them, that vision of what this card is, to make it special, to provide some very special gifts, digital, physical experiences, is very important. And it's integral to all the IRL events that VeVe goes to. The Gold and Silver logo is a very big IRL play. And VeVe has a party, and I have a party. My parties will continue. Those parties are going to get more and more special. And now I have a lot of love and support from the artists for it. The different IPs, the artists, sponsors, even my network of friends see that and say, oh my God, you've got 250 very big collectors in them. Some of them are whales. We would love the opportunity to just be at that event Now
Yeah.
we're willing to pay you, Sanjay, to be at this event and for us to be at that event and share what we do. So
Yeah.
one of the
It's a
companies that
great place for networking,
yeah,
right?
they come and they display their stuff. The
Yeah.
artists come and talk about stuff. And then it's also turning out a place where talent is emerging. So people are writing music to perform it at that event for the first time. And I will try and structure a deal where if there's something that's performed at the event, that VeVe potentially gives it consideration for being on a platform. So it's community-led art that makes it there. It debuted on, at the VeVe Gold and Silver logo party. So people have written to me saying, hey, Mr. MC1, I want to perform at your party. I'm going to write something special. My debut performance will be there. Whether it's art, whether it's music, I'm open to dance as a form as well, and I'm also open to fashion. I want to drive fashion. Fashion. I'm hoping that Metaverse fashion picks up with VeVe Verse, and I can do
Yes, it
something.
will. I guess it will.
I'm hoping to do it in October, man. It's not finalized yet, but if I see the right kind of things, either this year or next year, there'll be a full-on fashion show, which is digital and physical, with like top models and everything. Right.
That sounds like a good plan, I would say.
Sounds like a plan, man.
Yeah, definitely,
And
definitely.
Dr. Profit, by the way, Dr. Profit has said the party he's going to throw in Portugal is going to be better than any party I've ever thrown.
Oh, okay, okay. Big words, big words.
Big
But
words and Dr. Profit.
I
Man, Dr.
unfortunately
Profit.
am not able to come. I mean, Portugal is not that far away from my place, but yeah, it's not possible for me to come. I would love to, but yeah.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. What about the time? I mean, we've recorded now for 1 hour.
I'm okay. Whatever you need.
Yeah. Great, great. Then I would like to talk about the affiliate program. I mean, I've listened to the recording of you and Randy this morning, and there was a lot of interesting points in it. And in this interview, you repeatedly emphasized that content creators should have a strategy for the affiliate program. And what could this strategy look like? Especially because I'm a really, really small creator at the moment. I will grow, but at the moment I'm really, really small.
Yeah.
What could a strategy for me be?
So there's many ways to look at a strategy, right? I think a strategy always starts with what's the opportunity and who you are and what are your strengths. And then you kind of build something to bridge those two, right? And so not specific to you, right? I mean, I probably have to spend some time thinking about you specifically and how to do that. But let me just give you an example of like I've worked with affiliates in two of my roles where we spent 50 to $65 million on affiliates, right? And I met these affiliates. And like one affiliate that I knew, it was basically two guys who had some friends who helped them, and then they hired a couple of digital marketers. It might have been 5, 6 people max, working in a small office. And they started off making about $1 million a year. And then they went on to making close to 16, $17 million a year from my business alone. And they, as a company, they from other places they brought in about 40, $50 million a year, right? So it's truly, forget the fact that you can make tens of thousands of dollars. It's a space where you can make millions of dollars overall, millions outside of VeVe as well.
Yeah.
Now, specifically, the couple of strategies that you want to consider are one, what are all the sources to get traffic? If all you do is keep producing content for people who are already here,
Then you will not get any
how are you going to
affiliate.
get new people?
Yeah, I get
You
that.
have to have something where you're producing content for existing people, but has some mechanisms. I call them mechanisms. So these are ways and doors through which new people walk in and get to see you doing what you do with existing people. But there has to be an invitation in. Either you're inviting them or the people who are on your show are inviting them in. And why would they do that? What's the reason to do that? So you have to have some incentives. You have to have some, it doesn't have to be money, monetary and non monetary ways in which you think about bringing new people in, yourself or to others. You can't always trust other people, so you got to do it yourself. Now, what affiliates on the outside do is they have websites. They create hundreds of websites with different domain names, right? Credit.com, bestcredit.com, freecredit.com, also nicecredit.com, specialcredit.com, zerothisthing.com, buildyourlife.com, like, whatever. Like there's like a proliferation of websites. Now, in our space, it could be a proliferation of accounts, right? So you have these storefronts, Marvel Comics or whatever that account. You can have one on Fantastic Four. You can have one on comics, Silver Age comics, Golden Age comics. Now it's a lot of work to maintain all these things, but you've got multiple doors that lead people into your environment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
depending on their fandom, depending on their interest, there's multiple doors that bring people into your show. Once they're on your show, now you convert them, right? So how do you get prospects to, how do you generate interest? Who do you target? How do you get the interest? And then how do you get consideration? And then how do you convert, right? There are
Yeah.
different challenges. So it's almost like a funnel. So you would literally look at a full funnel. On the front end, it's called mushrooming. The strategy is called mushrooming. Now, mushrooming can be bad in some ways if you do bots and a lot of bullshit. But it's good if you have on point storefront doors. It's almost like you've got 5 different doors. You've got 5 different billboards, digital billboards. And you can have storefronts for X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, websites, physical store coupons. If you are in a certain area, event-based promotions, at Comic Cons or whatever, you can do something special. You can advertise in other places. You can buy traffic. So you can't bid on the VeVe word, VeVe and whatever, those, some of them are protected.
Yeah.
But you can actually, if you have the money, you can go and buy. You can bid on keywords and convert it. Obviously, that's a risky thing, but if you figure out the right keywords, where you own the traffic, you show the banner, and your banner converts it for VeVe. VeVe pays you $20, and you pay, if the conversion's right and everything works. So there's many different ways in which you can work it based on how strategic you want to be. But if you are, don't have much money, all you do is, make do like X or YouTube or whatever, start small, right? Start building those different sites, start building traffic, start creating incentives, and grow little by little.
Yeah.
If you are wealthy and you've got the money to do it, now you can actually build a full-on business plan that says, I want to generate $1,000 a quarter to build a $400,000 a year business. I'm going to plow in $20,000 to get started. With this 20,000, I'm going to do a small test to bid on certain keywords. I'm going to use this money to build professional storefronts. I'm going to be a super affiliate, which means you would hire or partner with others to bring you traffic. So you'd work with, let's say, an Andre Zick or somebody, say, hey, listen, you don't want to do VeVe, but that's fine. But why don't you send me some traffic and I'll reward you for that, right? So you can be a super affiliate. You may have a strategy there. Let me pause there. I've volunteered 5 slots. I'm giving out 5 30-minute slots for free. One's been taken last night. 2 actually, I should say. One's obviously, my business partner has my time. So Randy will have my time anyway. And one more person, I won't take the name, has reached out to me, and I'm going to help her with, what she wants to do. And, just take a look at a strategy. But I need to know people that are really serious about it, because I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
If they're serious about it, I'll give you 30 minutes to review your strategy, give you input on your strategy, and give you some advice and guidance to move forward.
In terms of the affiliate strategy, right? Or in terms
Specifically to
of
affiliate.
again?
Specifically for
okay.
affiliate.
Yeah. Okay. So that would lead me to one of the last questions.
Yes.
So people will be able, through the affiliate program, to generate an income for them if they kind of do it right and add value to the community and to new people. Do you see people making a full-on living out of like the whole VeVe ecosystem? With like,
I would not go on to the Randy show and talk about it if I didn't think so.
Okay.
And remember, if what you want to do is spend $0 and make 20 from the first day, you're probably not thinking about it correctly. You've got to think of 20 as a revenue, and you've got to figure out what are you willing to spend on the front end to get the 20. So that's a smarter way of thinking about it. That way you're actually you're spending money to create the infrastructure and potentially incentivizing, how it happens, right?
Mhm.
And it could be that you say, look, for everybody that joins in a month with this thing, I have like a free giveaway later in the month, or like a random winner, stuff like that. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't. That's
yeah.
probably. I mean, there's rules around it too. That's incentivized traffic, and you got to make sure it works with VeVe and their rules and stuff like that. So usually, as long as you disclose it, it's not something stupid, malicious and brand, risk kind of a situation for VeVe and for you. They'll kind of generally, I think, they'd say okay. But you got to figure out ways in which you do it. How do you bring traffic in? You got to be willing to spend some money beyond just incentives, just to get the traffic. You got to design shows. You got to have the sets for it. You got to have the gifts on the show. You got to have the promotions and this, that, and the other. Like, what makes your show so special? Anyway, hopefully that answers some of your question. But
Yeah.
you have to figure out strategically what are you going to do as an affiliate. I think I gave you a whole range of
Yeah, definitely.
input channels, a whole range of ways in which you can kind of monetize it. And so you'd want to pick which ones do you want to do, how you're going to do them, and then you have to go execute on it.
Yeah. It's all about execution, right?
Yeah.
So I think we will see incredible things over the next couple of months and years. And it seems like you are really confident that the affiliate program will boost VB's growth over.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I
Okay.
mean, it's not a magic wand. I don't think it's a miracle because VV by itself is also growing, right? So it's going to take a while to bring the right affiliates. It's going to take a while. I mean, there's a lot of other things. You can't, you need many other things to work in parallel with it as well. But it's my belief that the affiliate program will amplify what VV wants to do. And
Mhm.
I think for the VV fam, the combination of monetizing VV Verse and businesses in VV Verse with the affiliate program, they're two different things, but the two together can enable people in the VV ecosystem to make $10,000-$20,000 a month and make a living.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
belief.
Yeah.
And I believe
I
that the
think so
biggest
too. I
ones can
mean,
become winners. Like if let's say 3-4 years from now NFTs boom and digital collecting is ubiquitous and there's like millions of people in this ecosystem,
yeah.
you could make millions
Yeah. Yeah, I
if that
believe
happens.
that. I believe that as well. It's like the same with social media influencers back in
Yeah,
the beginning of
yeah,
2010 or so, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay, Sanjay, great. I have a rapid fire question round at the end.
Okay,
So really short answers.
okay.
The first question would be, what would be your favorite collectible or collection inside of VV?
My favorite is the Spider-Man Secret Rare.
Mm-hmm.
Peter
Okay.
Parker
Yeah.
animated one. I love that one.
Okay. And you hopefully have a few of them, right?
Just one.
Oh, okay.
Just one.
Okay.
But I
So
mean, I like the collectible. I'm not stacking it. I mean, I stack other stuff.
yeah.
Not something
Okay.
I want to stack, but I love that collectible.
All right.
Just
Fine.
to play. I need one to play. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Collectibles or comics?
Marvel Comics one. I mean, that's my passion. It's the first. I collect a lot of first edition books and comics IRL as well. Like I have the first Life magazine, first Disney Mickey Mouse book, like a lot of those things. I have the first Bitcoin
Mhm.
magazine. Yeah. So Marvel Comics one is very special, and that one I will stack for a long, long time. Keep stacking.
Okay. And next one would be physical or digital collecting if you have to choose.
Not too hard, man. I would say digital because no, digital is better. Digital is better. I have a bigger digital collection than physical collection. Period.
What is like the biggest mistake in your opinion new VV collectors should avoid?
Um, Missing out on grails.
Okay.
It's easy for a new collector to get caught up in the new stuff.
Yeah,
You want
definitely. I
grails. The
mean,
grails are going to keep the value the most.
yeah, I guess I think so too.
And
And
it's easy for a new guy to say, "Oh, but it's like $300, or that golden moment is like $150. I'd rather spend just $20 on this." That could be a mistake. You do want to spend that money to go pick up the grails.
yeah, yeah. And the last one in this rapid fire, what, in your opinion, matters most in life?
What you leave behind, right? So we came to this planet with nothing, and we're going to leave with nothing. So the question: how do you leave this world a better place in your time here?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
I think the most important thing.
Great, Sanjay. Anything we haven't touched on in this conversation that you want to talk about, tell the community, or
No, you've done a great job here. Great
thanks?
questions. We've rotated the questions around different categories very well. I wanted to congratulate you on your journey with VeVe and also the merch that you've done. I love that Marvel logo. People may not know that I have actually ordered 20, and I'll be ordering another 19 more of that
This one.
Marvel logo at the back there,
Yeah.
just for that Marvel logo group that I'm building. It's a by invitation group, very few spots left. But yeah, so thank you very much for that. That's the first gift into that group. I'm super excited. And then I also have your Ecomi logo that you have over there, back there. For anybody that has an Ecomi SR logo, this is just an incredible piece of display one at the back. And then you also have the VeVe logo on the other side, behind you on the left side. So that VeVe gold and silver logo is another one that I really love. So thank you very much for all the merch you're doing. Thanks for bringing it to me first. Obviously, I'm very grateful to be, I love the firsts anyway. So thank you very much for that as well. But yeah, and grateful for your friendship as well. You've been a great friend as well. So hopefully, we get to see you at some events later.
We will definitely. We will definitely. And yeah, I have to say the same. I mean, you've helped me a lot so far, and I'm really grateful for that. Thanks really, really much.
My pleasure.
And yeah, guys, that was my conversation with Sanjay, Mr. MC1. If you got some value out of it and enjoyed the conversation, I would highly appreciate your support by liking the video or commenting what was your favorite part about this whole conversation. And guys, see you in the next video. Bye bye.